John Schneider has done it again, folks. Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyrel Dodson here with you. Thanks for joining us. We are going to break down the impact of Ernest Jones IV joining the Seattle Seahawks, how they pulled off this trade, and what this means for the Seattle Seahawks going forward from here, coming up on today's program. Before we do, if you're like me and you love that Ernest Jones IV trade, like the video. If you didn't like it for whatever reason, maybe you're related to Jerome Baker or something, get in the comments section, sound off, let me know one way or the other. I just want to survey the 12s a little bit. Like it if you liked the trade. If not, comment and tell me why, and we'll get started with today's show. In John we trust. Let's tell you more about the addition of Ernest Jones IV and why this was an awesome move by John Schneider and the Seattle Seahawks to pull this off. Ernest Jones IV, a lot of excitement about what he's going to bring to this Seattle Seahawks team for the 2020 third-round pick out of South Carolina, previously playing with the Rams and the Titans. The Rams traded him a couple months ago. Then the Titans bring him in, and then the Titans, as they are dismantling that team, tearing things down, decided to trade him and get something out of him while they can, as they're trying to stockpile on draft picks. They saw that he was a valuable asset that a team like Seattle could use. And he played a pivotal role in the Rams Super Bowl victory a couple of years ago. One of the things I kept hearing from a lot of you over the last, 24, 48 hours on this trade was, man, Ernest Jones was a problem for the Seahawks to deal with when he played for the LA Rams. And I'm so glad to have him on my team now and not have to face him like we saw what the Seahawks had to do the last few years. To make the trade happen, the Seahawks gave up Jerome Baker and a 2025 fourth-round pick. And I'll say this, Jerome Baker was a guy that I think we all felt pretty excited about when he came to Seattle. But the injuries continued to be an issue for Jerome Baker. And the big problem with him that Mike Macdonald took issue with was that he had too many missed tackles, that he was missing guys and making too many mistakes on the football field. So now you go to a guy like Ernest Jones IV, who is just now entering the prime of his career, on the final year of his rookie contract, and is really just getting started. This was brilliant for Seattle to not only upgrade the position here, folks, not only to find a better player. I think everybody's going to take Ernest Jones over Jerome Baker, but also to get a guy that's right there at the beginning of his prime years to maximize his talent and his capabilities for years to come. And comparing him to Jerome Baker, and let me say this, I'm not sitting here trying to make this all about putting down Jerome Baker. But we're just being honest with you here, comparing these two players. Compared to Baker, he moves bigger, he's more physical in the box, and he plays with a sense of urgency that we did not see from Jerome Baker. Mike Macdonald, very impressed with Ernest Jones. Here's what he had to say. Well, it's a team decision. Wasn't just my decision, but he's a guy I think when you look at kind of all fronts coming from John and our personnel, our coaches, our experience with him, a guy we've had respect for a long time. Just is a really good football player all the way around. I remember seeing him play in the Super Bowl. It's probably the first time he got on my map, and just excited to get him here and get him rolling. By all accounts, a great person, loves ball, tough as nails. We're excited to get him here. End quote from Mike Macdonald there. We will show you more of what Mike Macdonald had to say. Also get you a detailed scouting report on Ernest Jones in just a moment. But first, grade the trade. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give you my grade in a moment, but want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the trade to bring in Ernest Jones? Let us know. Your chance to be the teacher here on Seahawks Today. Answer our pinned comment. Let us know. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose two or more players at any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And PrizePicks has got a great deal they're offering right now, folks. When you spend $5, they'll give you $50 for free. You don't have to win to get the money, folks. It's that simple. Go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. This weekend, I'm rolling with Kenneth Walker III to have more than 64.5 rushing yards. I got Patrick Mahomes to have more than 229.5 passing yards. If I put $20 down, both these hit, that turns into $60 on PrizePicks. Go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. PrizePicks, proud partner of Seahawks Today. And check them out. Get that $50 when you play $5 at PrizePicks.com/CLNS. That's PrizePicks.com/CLNS. And check them out. You'll be glad you did. My grade, I'm going with an A on this trade. You upgraded the position. You got a player in the prime of his career and a natural fit for what Mike Macdonald wants to do with this defense. A true ball hawk. He looks like a Mike Macdonald type of player. And for me, the trade was a complete shocker. I was sitting here when this trade went down just saying, wow, they really did this. They really did this. Jerome Baker just arrived here not too long ago. And here we are already making a move to upgrade this position and get a player that you can depend upon for a long time. And you've set your foundation. That's the other thing I like about what Schneider did with this, is that between Jones and Dodson, you have your linebacker room, those two off-ball linebackers set for a long time, for many years to come now. You look at the scouting report. This is a guy that's a downhill linebacker, outstanding with the read and react ability. He's a tackling machine. All right? If you look at his tackling statistics, which we'll show you here in just a second, he would be about, I think, third in tackles on this Seahawks team compared to the others out there. And he doesn't miss many tackles compared to Jerome Baker in that sense. And the guy is tough as nails, too. I mean, just physical, just a specimen of a human being. And you look at the numbers of what he's done. I mean, especially for an off-ball linebacker, folks. 4.5 sacks last season, 6 pass breakups, 145 tackles. Wow. This year so far, 44 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 pass breakups. Ernest Jones, he is that guy. And I think you're talking about a guy with potential to be a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. And you look at the grades, very solid when it comes to Ernest Jones of what he's done so far this season. His overall grade, 62.5, pass rush grade 65.2, run defense grade 68.4. That's another thing that's going to help. The run defense was certainly could use some help based on what we've seen so far this season. And I have no reason to think you don't make this trade unless you had long-term plans for Jones here. I don't think you would have done this without the idea of keeping him around for a long time. I would expect the Seahawks to get an extension sooner than later. Because here's the other thing. Let's say if Mike Macdonald and him are on the same page and he goes off, if you wait till the offseason, that price tag might go up considerably from what it is right now. I think you get him in the building and you get him comfortable and you go to the negotiating table as quick as you can to try to get something lined up for the future to keep him around. Should the Seahawks extend him right now? I say go ahead. Pull the trigger and shoot it. I would go ahead and do it right now. What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, in for no if you think the Seahawks should extend Jones right now. Make sure to join us coming up this Sunday for Seahawks and Bills. Our watch party will get started at 12 o'clock Pacific time with our hour-long pregame show. I'll be here. Smitty will be here. And you better be here, folks. We're going to have a great time rooting on the Seahawks to victory, hopefully so. And if you've never been a part of one of our watch parties before, make it a point to be here for your first watch party this Sunday because it's going to be a wild time. Join us, subscribe now, turn on notifications. That way you're the first to know when we go live, coming up at 12 noon Pacific time right here on Seahawks Today, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. We'll see you then. So here is the updated look at Seattle's linebacker room as it stands. Derek Hall leads the team in sacks. He's your starting left outside linebacker. Boye Mafe, of course, been a bit banged up, but obviously we know Boye is a very good football player. Tremont Jones finally had a breakthrough game of sorts last week against Atlanta. Hopefully he's trending in the right direction. Dodson's been very good as your green dot leading the defense there. And Ernest Jones, I think, is a natural fit with him. You look at Knight, he's had a very solid rookie year. Mike Macdonald likes Drake Thomas a lot. I think we might see more Gibson soon. And with these things, when you make trades like this, especially during the season, the next question then becomes, all right, how quickly can you learn on the fly and jump right in? And I'm of the belief that I think that he's going to have an immediate impact in this Seahawks defense, that they're going to use him right away and get the most out of him. Macdonald saying this on Ernest Jones: we are working through that right now. Probably have Ernest at Mike and T-Dot at the weak side right now. He does a lot of things really well. Talk about making tackles, staying square at the point of attack. He's physical. I think he plays really hard. Also a good blitzer as well off the ball. Coverage skills, I think, are pretty dang good as well. Overall, a really good football player. And to end on this, folks, circling back, shout out Jen Psaki to where we started with John Schneider. I think Johnny sent a message to the rest of the NFC West and the rest of the NFL with this trade that the Seahawks are not bending the knee for anybody, that this team is here to compete. They're in first place in the division. The Niners got their problems. We all know that. And you make this trade not just about the future, and the future is a big part, but you make this trade because you see an opening. You see a team that says, yeah, we're ready to do something right here, right now. Despite the 3-game losing streak they went on, I think that Atlanta game was a turning point in this season going forward for Seattle, and they still might not be done making moves. We still have a couple more weeks till the trade deadline. They got about $9 million in cap space to potentially work with. So, John, keep that phone on ring. Do not turn on Do Not Disturb. Get your certain GMs of those selling teams on speed dial, because there still might be more coming. And they've been doing a good job with these trades of kind of surprising us with these moves here, being aggressive. I love the aggressiveness they're showing at this point. If you enjoyed today's show, if you like that trade, then like the video. It's simple as that. Tyrel Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.